with stuff, and it's okay. A lot of people are still coming online, so that's okay. We'll give them a couple of minutes here, maybe not even that long. A few seconds is all it takes. And once we get the live stream going, then we can get started, right? Okay, excuse me while I clear my throat. All right, I think we're good. And it's okay. A lot of people are still. There we go. All right, that one's going. All systems go. We just have one more thing to do, and that is to hit the record button. And as soon as I find it, where did I go? Okay, it is right here. Gotta clear my throat first. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, good evening, everybody. I want to do one more thing. I want to close the blinds. Well, maybe I'll close them after. Let you enjoy the beautiful sunset right here in Western New York area. If I put this light on, will it give me a little more light? Nah, a little bit. Not really. I should probably close the blinds simply because it will put more light on my face. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it'll just kind of cover that background. All right, here we go. Okay, and let's get the questions box going. So there we go. Okay, I think we're good. All right, here we go. Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, April the 19th, 2026, and my name is Hugh. All right, my name is Hugh, Humble Hugh, they call me. All right, and let me know if, you know, I don't even have that on there, do you? Okay, just bear with me. You know, I can do this here. I get my name on here, presenter Hugh, so you know who I am. So you can always go back and see, right? So presenter Hugh. All right. There we go. We're not prepared, are we? Okay, folks, let us know in the questions box if you are new to options and if you're new to day trade spy, if you're new to spy, if you're new to spy options, if you don't know what we're talking about, let us know in the questions box. You'll find the icon on your Zoom dashboard, all right? Click on that. I'm the only one that sees that. And okay, a lot of people joining us here tonight. Cool. Let me take a look and see. Lots of familiar names. Ooh, okay. I love it. I like to see. I like to see a lot of people here. A lot of people probably listening on Zoom as well. Not Zoom, but uh, YouTube Live. Okay, cool. All right. So, here's what we're going to talk about here tonight, folks. Last week, take a review of that. Look at the upcoming week. Give you a 2-minute tutorial. And take your questions and get a little contest going. All right. The winner is going to get tips, tricks, and traps. Tips, tricks, and traps. Tips, tricks, and traps. And anybody can qualify. It's not like a trivia contest or a skill testing question or something like that. It's just a random number generator that we run, and the person closest to the number that we spin the wheel at, they, or if you want to call it that, that's who is going to get the prize. Okay, so everybody has a good chance at winning, or whatever the chance is. So I'm talking all day here, so I just want to get a drink here, clear my throat. I actually recovered not too long ago from a pretty bad chest cold. And I won't say I'm 100% yet, but probably about 92, maybe 93%. Have fun with that. All right, Ramsey, Ramasastri. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome, and good to have you here. Tell us in the questions box, folks, where you're from, by the way. I want to get an idea as to where everybody is from here tonight, all right? Just to get an idea. I know we have people from around the world, and not everybody is on live, but a lot of people will join us later and watch the recording. I get a lot of I get a lot of comments from literally around the world. So let's just get to know that here. Okay. Georgia, okay, the Atlanta area, Key West, Florida, Montreal, Canada, Rome, Georgia, Point Vedra Beach, Florida, I hope I pronounced that right, Chicago, LA, New York, you're checking in here. We got some from Jersey City. Okay, Wilmington, North Carolina. Houston, another one from Houston. Okay, we've been from all over the place. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, Colorado Springs, Ocala, Florida. Okay, another one from Florida here, another one from, just trying to read this here. Okay, from Kissimmee checking in. Okay, Palm Springs. Okay, cool. Yeah, from all people from all over. All right, that's good to hear. All right, let's move on. I got to give you this disclaimer. It's kind of like the law, you know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that everybody is covered. You're alone responsible for all your own trading, ladies and gentlemen. Past performance does not guarantee future results. I think you all know that. I'm sure you've been exposed to that many, many, many times in your trading career. Now, excuse me, why listen to us? I'm not going to give you a big long spiel about how I got burned back in my early days, but I'm just going to tell you that's what prompted me to do this. My background is actually not in stock trading, although I spent a lot of years trading, before I started teaching people. So, but my background is with risk, insurance, and numbers. So I'm not totally green at this. So anyway, after getting burned, like I say, with my own financial advisor, that's when I took control back and realized I could do this myself. Or I'd better learn how to do this myself because it can't get any worse, right? Once they blow up half your account, then you realize, it's time. It's time to do that. So I always found it strange that these guys that take the subway to work are managing money for those who roll in limousines. There's something very strange about that. And they didn't have any emotional or any other kind of a connection to the people that were trading. Basically, these money people were managing, the accounts of people who worked hard for their money, but it seems like we were just, I don't know if you felt this way, but we were just pigeons, right? They're just using our money, our tools. And if it worked, great. If it didn't, meh, right? Is that what they say now? Meh, meh. What is that? I never heard of that. But anyway, I got control of my own account and I learned how to do stuff and I got deep in the trenches and that's what I did. So everything I teach now, all right, came from, let me see if I can do that. Along in the trenches, that's what I did here. And I've been trading for a long time now, publicly teaching people since 2010. And it never set out to be that way. Here's the irony of this. I'm not even sure exactly how we started. I think I started teaching somebody wanted to learn how to do this. My friends, family, neighbors. They said, well, you're making money, just show us. And I said, yeah, okay, sure. Before I knew it, I had this inner circle and then you know, some ebooks and some lessons and webinars and trading room. And before I knew it, the thing mushroomed. It was never supposed to be that way. I thought, oh, a couple of weeks it'll fizzle out, right? You know how that goes. Well, a couple of weeks turned a couple of months, and before I knew, a couple of years. And in May next month, we are going to be celebrating our 16th year. We'll be starting our 17th year doing this. Wow. Anyway, I mastered some pretty cool techniques that I learned. Okay, I learned a lot of stuff. I'm not going to kid you. I learned a lot of stuff from the professionals. Professionals, right? You do that. Can you do this here? The professional, the air quote, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. But I had to laugh at a lot of these guys. They would, so I went to all these webinars and seminars and stuff, and some of these guys, they really intrigued me on how the presentations, and I would always ask the presenters, so Mr. Presenter, you trade this yourself? And do you know that every one of them said, oh no, no, I don't trade. I'm just the presenter. Trading is too risky for me. Well, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Folded up my books. I'm out of here. Because if you're not going to trade, your own money, but you're telling me what you should do, sorry, what I should do, but you don't have the confidence to trade your own advice, well, that tells me a lot. I learned a lot of stuff, but most of what I learned and pretty well everything I teach, I learned the hard way. All right. Now, what I'm looking for, all right, is short-term breakout trades. That's what I like to do, short-term breakout trades, because quite honestly, all right, quite frankly, I should say, I don't like the word honestly. That implies that everything else I say is a lie, and it's not. But quite frankly, listen carefully. I have no clue. Like some of these pundits out there, they know where the market's gonna go a year from now or 6 months. Oh yeah, we're gonna see a recession. We're gonna see this. We're gonna see that. I admire these guys like Jamie Dimon who can predict such calamities in the world and stuff. I think, man, you are so good. I don't know how you do it, but I don't have that ability. I don't even know the market's going to be a week from now, and I don't know how anybody could. That's the funny thing about it, because I look back and I see well all these predictions, but none of them had come true, or some did, some didn't. Let's put it this way, not with any reliability could I predict where the market's going to go to the point where I would give money, hand over money to this. So, but I've got a pretty good idea where the market's going to go today. How do I know that? Well, I look at fundamentals and I look at technicals and I marry the two. And I have a certain set of indicators that I like to use, and it seems to work very well for me. All right. And now people ask, well, if you're making money trading, why do you bother trading? Or rather, you make your money trading, why do you bother training? In fact, if you read my newsletter, I think it's this week, last week it went out, it should be this week, I'll have to check. That's one of the questions I get asked a lot, and I address that. In fact, it was just last Thursday. Let me know if you get the newsletter, folks. If you don't get the newsletter, you should, because I talked about that. Well, here's the thing. That's correct. I don't need to do training. And I can walk away at any time and no skin off my back, right? And but I thrive on the success of others. I absolutely love it. I get a real charge. I get an adrenaline rush when people chime in and they tell me how well they are doing. Okay, and that's the real reason why I continue to train other people. Okay, I've got a quote here. One of my favorite quotes. If you want what I have, you got to do what I do. Okay. And that's the essence of what I do. And that's just it. So I look for these short-term breakout trades. I make a few cents, all right, and wait for the next setup, wait for the next setup, wait for the next setup. By the end of my training session that I do, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, whatever, 12 o'clock, whatever I finish up, I get a nice big little bag of cash that I take to the bank. Now, what happened was, so we've been doing this for a while. Then in 2022, um, Eagle Financial Products, all right, got wind of us, and they said, we want this guy. We want this guy. And he said, well, why? It's not for sale. Oh, yes, it is. They made me a deal I couldn't refuse. And they bought me out. But they hired me back. And not only that, but they brought on a partner. An old retired Eagle Financial Products gentleman by the name of John Johnson. He's actually a lawyer. In fact, he gave up law. He had a very lucrative law career in the oil and gas industry in Texas. Well, he gave that up. Why? To trade and to teach other people how to trade. Litigation lawyer turned options trader. Who does that? All right. By the way, he's very successful in law as well. In fact, very successful. He's highly acclaimed in industry publications, uses highly effective tools to determine trades. His philosophy is very simple. Take what the market gives you. Very simple. And his definition of success is doing what you want when you want. Doing what you want when you want. So John and I got together, and we do very well together. We run the trading room every morning, and I'll tell you more about that. So we have a saying. We have a saying. It says, "When our indicators unite, our trades ignite." And they ignite like you won't believe. You see, here's the thing. John has his set of indicators that he uses. He's been very good at this. He's been using them for years. They work very well. They're very effective. I also have my set of indicators that I find very effective, very useful for me, and this is pretty cool. So that's all I like to use. I like to keep things simple. I don't like to get too complicated. John is perhaps a little more complicated than I am, a little more complex, and he certainly likes to use a lot of words. I like to get right to the punch. Market's going up. Market's going down. Okay. Whereas John will fully explain it all out and on and on. Some people like that. That's fine. I love the guy. But here's the thing, right? When say John says, I think the market's going to tank, and here's why, and he tells me, and I look at my set of indicators and I say, John, I concur with that because of this reason. So when we independently come to the same conclusion as to the market direction and strength, you might want to pay attention because chances are we're going to be right. Now, no guarantees, nothing's ever 100%, and once in a while we miss the mark. I'll admit it. We missed the mark. The other day, prime example, the market was screaming puts. And so we went with puts in the pick. And what happened? Market opened up and it continued to shoot up. we suffered a bit of a loss. But like I say, some days you're the dog, other days you're the hydrant. That was one of the days. Anyway, long term, we are very successful with what we do. All right. By the way, I want to tell you a couple things here. So I have these sayings. And I got to tell you, Mark Skousen, he was with Eagle Financial Publications, but he's not with them anymore. But he just recently came out with his 12th edition of The Maxims of Wall Street. Now, this is the book. It's really all quotes and sayings from all these gurus out there gurus from ever. He goes back a lot of years, many years, like since the Old Testament. I see one here. Okay. Anyway, he just wrote a book, and I just got his book actually, and I am honored because he took 4 of my quotes and he put them in his book. He put them in his book. So I'm very honored that I am included 4 times in the 12th edition, second printing of The Maxims of Wall Street by Mark Skousen. And you might want to get this book because I'm going to tell you something. I have read quite a few books on trading and always looking for a book that was good, but I only found 2 uses for books on trading for me. Now, again, this is my opinion on trading books because I always had trouble following them, I guess. The 2 uses I found for books on stock trading or options trading in particular is number 1, if you leave them on the coffee table and your friends come over, they get very impressed with the things that you supposedly read. They say, "Oh, you read this, you read that." So, oh yeah, this is a really good book. Oh yeah, Of course, then we have a little chuckle about it, but that kind of worked for a while. Especially when ladies would come over and they said, "Oh, that's very impressive. Really? You know this? Oh, you have status. Oh, I like guys with status." Yeah. Here we go. The other use I found, which was actually even more so, was that if you ever have insomnia and you can't go to sleep at night, if you just pick up one of these books on stock trading, then you fall asleep very quickly with no meds, no drugs, no anything. And those are the uses I had found. However, the one book I actually could not put down was The Maxims of Wall Street. And I blamed Mark for that. I actually even told him in a quote, I said, I'm kind of blaming you because I had a very restless night last night. I don't think I got to sleep till, I don't want to say 3:30, 4 o'clock or something because I kept reading your book. One page would take me to the next, to the next, to the next. Anyway, folks, I believe if you go to skousenbooks.com, www.skousenbooks.com, you can get the first book for $22 delivered to your door, and any subsequent books only $12 each. Check it out. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that is the price. Maxims of Wall Street. The other thing I want to tell you, folks, Spy on the Market. This is our newsletter that goes out every Thursday. All right, I write this newsletter every Thursday, and you'll find it. It's a free newsletter. It's a very brief read, only 3 minutes long. If that, you'll probably read it in about 2.5. Light, relevant, even entertaining. All you have to do to get this, deliver right to your inbox every Thursday. Subscribe on our website, DayTradeSPY.com. All right, and just leave us your email address, and you will get this delivered to your inbox. Now, if you don't want a subscription, all right, you can go to our website, DayTradeSPY.com, and up in the top left corner, you'll see our newsletter, Spy on the Market. Click on that. You'll find all the back issues there. I think we have like, I don't know, 130 some of these newsletters already going back a couple years plus. I think you'll really enjoy them. There's a lot of really good material in there. And this week we're going to talk about this week's topic is the Security Exchange new rule, removal of the pattern day trade rule. Very exciting. Very exciting. So I think you're going to really, really, really like it. All right, so let's get on and talk about the market. Ooh, let's go back here. There I am. There it is. All right, so this is what happened this last week, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Monday, hope on de-escalation from geopolitical tensions. Spurred SPY all the way back up. Look at that. We grew from about 675 up to 685, about 10 points here during the day. Ran up, pulled back a little bit, took a rest, another run up, took a little rest, continued on up. We came within 1.3% of its all-time high after the pre-market meltdown. It's that, well, yeah, we're talking about peace. We're talking about peace. Okay, that's good. Tuesday, more of the same. We also had some PPI numbers, producer price index numbers showed cooling inflation, decline in oil prices, and continued potential U.S.-Iran de-escalation. SPY hit new record highs on Tuesday. More of the same on Wednesday. Fresh record highs again, driven by investor enthusiasm for artificial intelligence and the U.S.-Iran peace deal. Thursday, economic data and strong earnings amid hopes of a Middle East de-escalation drove SPY higher for the second consecutive day. And guess what happened on Friday? Another new record high. SPY broke 712 as a matter of fact. We had a high of 712.39. Wow. Early afternoon, I believe, the S&P crossed 7,000 for the first time. Those people in the trading room witnessed it for the first time. History in the making. They witnessed history in the making, folks. And this was after the announcement that the Strait of Hormuz was open once again. Tumbling oil prices, roughly 9%, third record high this week. So things were moving along very nicely right there. Let me see. There's something I want to see. I don't know what the news is tonight. We have, let me see. I think there's some. I think there's something in Iran right now. Again, footage shows U.S. Navy blowing a hole in an Iranian cargo ship, violating blockade. I think they're kind of back at it. If they're back at it, blocking the Strait of Hormuz, I don't think the U.S. is going to be quite as patient. I believe Trump and his entourage, again, my opinion, he's probably going to go start dropping some bombs or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow, Monday. Anyway, third record high this week on Friday, folks. Third record high on Friday. Seasonal charts. Here's the way this looks here, folks. The blue line is the current SPY price. What a jump up this week. Red line's an average of the last 5 years daily close. All right. And you'll find that if we go back in time over the last 5 years, SPY dropped about 1 point last week, and historically to the upside in the following week, we went up about 1 point the following week. So relatively flat. The only thing is this week we have some earnings coming out, and look at the earnings. See what's happening here on. I'll take a look at that in a little bit. Let's take a look and see what drove markets here this last week. They quickly priced out the worst case risks. Oil slid back down, stabilized interest rates, positive earnings, all played out to one of the fastest rebounds, sitting 3 record highs this week. Corporate profits pretty resilient, double-digit growth potential expected to continue. And let me just do one thing here. I'm actually a stickler for syntax. Okay, I want to get rid of an extra space here. And I just want to say that April began with stagflation fears. I remember that, and near correction. Market's tanked pretty good in early April, if you remember that. By mid-month now, we've seen an 11-day run up to the upside rally, marked by the fastest rally to a new all-time high, following a correction of at least 8% in the last 50 years. Pretty cool, I'd say. Here's some charts to show you. Stock erased post-conflict losses, oil prices ease. You can see oil prices here, the broken blue line coming down. Looks like we're down around $80 a barrel now, according to Friday's report. I don't know where it is right now. This changes by the hour, folks. So, But according to this on Friday, that and of course the S&P rose to, we rose over 7,000. All right, and this here is what we're expecting here on earnings. Double-digit S&P 500 earnings growth looks set to continue. They're expecting, I think Bloomberg Intelligence said something about they expect 12% growth year over year this term on Q1 profits. And looks like here that this is expected to go there. There's 12% year over year in the first quarter. And this could mark the 6th consecutive quarter of double-digit earnings growth. That's actually pretty phenomenal. And here's a change in the earnings estimate since the Iran conflict. Energy rose almost 41%. Tech stocks grew, mostly on AI. Materials, S&P is up 2.8%. Staples down a little bit. Consumer discretionary industrials down a little bit right here. All right, look at the numbers here. S&P grew 4.5% here. Year to date, we're at 4.5%. Dow Jones up 3.4% year to date, and the Nasdaq is up 5.5% year to date. We only look at the S&P 500 because we only trade SPY. Coming up this week, no low news day scheduled for Monday. Retail sales on Tuesday, and also we're going to have the Fed Chair designate Warsh testifies on Wednesday, and that is going to be, let me check the time on that. I'm not sure what time that starts, but he is going to be testifying, I believe, where is it? Let's see, Tuesday. Here we go. Let me take a look at it. All right. Excuse me. Due to testify on his nomination as the Fed Reserve Chair before the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs in Washington. That is going to start at 10 a.m. All right, they're going to be grilling him and saying things like, again, just my opinion, but so, Mr. Warsh, you're going to be reducing interest rates, right? No or low news on Wednesday. Thursday, unemployment claims, S&P Global Flash Manufacturing, and also S&P Global PMI Services PMI reports on Thursday. Friday, University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, also University of Michigan inflation expectations on Friday. All right. The volatility expected to be low on Monday, high on Tuesday, low on Wednesday, high on Thursday, and medium on Friday. Also, earnings. We're going to see some earnings coming up here on Monday. Some of the big names. Not too much on Monday. On Tuesday, GE Aerospace, United Health Group, Intuitive Surgical, Capital One Financial, Northrop Grumman. On Wednesday, we're starting in here with Tesla, Land Research, Philip Morris, IBM, Texas Instruments, AT&T, Boeing, CME Group. So they're starting to roll in. On Thursday, we've got Intel, American Express, S&P, let me see, NextEra Energy, Union Pacific, Honeywell, Lockheed Martin. On Friday, we have Procter & Gamble and Colgate-Palmolive. So, I mean, some of these are going to be starting here on this coming week. I think I'm looking for when the Magnificent Seven in a big way starts rolling in. I think we're okay until the 29th of April, the Wednesday. That's when we see Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta all reporting next, not this coming Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, April the 29th. Now, April the 29th, if my memory holds me correct, is that when the Fed Reserve is going to be reporting their new interest rates? Let me take a look. Yes, it is. It's going to be a very exciting, very highly volatile Wednesday, April the 29th. Might even want to mark that down on your calendar. Also expect elevated volatility whenever President Trump speaks. Okay. I can't believe that all those high-end Max 7 companies are going to be reporting same time the Fed Reserve. That's going to be very exciting. All right, let's get into a bit of a 2-minute tutorial here. We're going to talk about the Security and Exchange Commission ruling this last week. All right, you gotta love this. FINRA rule change. You'll love this. Pattern day trade rule, which required $25,000 minimum for active day trading, removed. This is that pattern day trading rule. That means, what that means is this. Up until now, and still now, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit, you could only trade 3 times in a 5-day period, in and out the same day. If you tried a 4th time, I'm not sure if they gave you a warning first or if they just simply block you for 90 days or whatever. But you get slapped and told to sit in the corner on your hands for 3 months. That's your penalty. All right. So they've removed that. They actually removed that. It's now a new risk-based system. Brokers are going to be using real-time risk-based margin requirements. That doesn't mean that you're just off the hook and go for it. There are going to be some rules set around this. I believe you still need about $2,000 in your account. Okay, it's not like you got nothing, but if you got $2,000 in your account, go for it, trade all you want. These new rules, by the way, they go into effect in about 45 days, and firms are allowed up to a year and a half to implement the changes. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and you'll want to make sure you check with your broker to see when you can go ahead and run with this. And I'm sure they're going to be releasing some sort of a notice on this. The purpose for this is to modernize regulations and removing those outdated barriers. And I think it's really pretty good. The impact benefit for retail traders is going to increase activity from small balance traders. There are a lot of traders sitting on the sideline wishing, oh man, if only I had 25,000, I could do this all day long. Well, guess what? Now you will be able to. The effects of the change, right? Traders can increase frequency of trades. Excuse me, but if you are one of those people who don't have 25,000, you only got a couple thousand, a few thousand, watch for YOLO. YOLO, YOLO. It means you only live once. What that means is, yeah, you know what, I got 2,500 in my account. I'm going to put it all in. Because Hugh and John said it's going up. I'm going to put it all in. Well, guess what? You alone are responsible for all your own trades. Past performance does not guarantee future results. And we are human. And okay, so you never, ever, ever want to put it all in. Never, ever, ever trade more than you can afford to lose. And for goodness sakes, watch your money management. These are all things we teach, all the reasons that you should be in the trading room and take our lessons. These higher risk, you only live once trades driven by conviction or impulse rather than careful planning. I know that to be true. I know a lot of traders blew up their accounts because they only had a little bit of money and they blew it all out. All right, so you got to be very careful. LA-based capital market laboratories, Ofer Gottlieb, I hope I pronounced that right, says more freedom to lose money faster. So basically, the SEC is giving us more rope to hang ourselves. Okay, if there's a simple way of putting it. So you want to be careful. Traders will still need to meet certain margin requirements. And so what's happened to a lot of retail traders since COVID, and we'd been advocating this for a long time. I mean, all through COVID, when everybody was sent home because I can't come to the office anymore. You got to go home now, right? Well, we'd been at home trading for years, so there's no change with us. So we used to advocate that. Yeah, this is the thing to do, guys. You got to get into trading because you can be this anywhere in the world. You can trade anywhere. Start with a little bit of money, make unlimited amounts of money, very low capital to get into this thing. Basically, a computer, an internet connection, and a little bit of money in your account and some trading, money. And you're in the game, and you can make unlimited amounts. There's no cap, right? Um, no employees, no government agencies watching over you. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits. But anyway, since COVID, retail traders now comprise about 25% key players, especially on high volatility days. So I think this is actually really cool. The average retail trader, they figure, has about 5,000 in their account. And again, you're still going to have to meet those certain thresholds in terms of knowledge or skills. So don't just willy-nilly jump into this because I can guarantee if you do not know what you are trading, and there's no guarantees in this, but there is one. There is one ironclad guarantee, and that is this. If you do not know what you are doing with options, you will lose your money. All right? Note that. If you do not know what you're doing, you will lose your money. All right, there's my 2-minute tutorial. Let's move on. All right, trades this week: 7 gains Monday, 4 on Tuesday, 3 on Wednesday, 1 break even and 1 loss. Thursday, 4 gains, 1 break even, and on Friday we had 4 gains, 1 loss. This was in the trading room. Those people in the trading room overall saw this going on, and this is what we did. Okay, and not just the trading room, but this includes the pick of the day and the day trade spy signal and whatnot. So we track. So on another level, we actually track all the trades in the trading room. This is for our 2026 goal, and this is what we're doing. If you were to watch what we do in the trading room, listen to our narration, John and myself, and only trade 5 contracts on each of our trades, all right, per trade, losers and winners, all trading room range trades included. It's not cherry picked or anything. It's all everything in the trading room. All right, and if we have a really bad loss, we include the loss. This is where you would be. You'd be up just over $11,155 since early January. Now I know some people are saying, "Well, that's not very much money. I thought you'd be up at 50,000 by now." So I got to tell you, folks, it has not been an easy challenge, right? Since I mean, since January. Oh my gosh, what did we do since January? Oh man, I think we pulled out of about 46 different organizations. Um, we tried to take over Greenland, tried to make Canada the 51st state. I went down to Venezuela, grabbed the leader there. So we invaded Venezuela, cut off the oil in Cuba. Uh, but we would see we were going to make Gaza Strip the next Riviera. Um, don't forget, of course, the war in Iran. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff there, and it's only April, mid-April. Make your heads spin, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, as of last week or two, we were almost gonna end civilization. Remember that? We just might do that still. Oh my lord! I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good. If you just followed what we did, you'd be up over $11,000 if you just traded 5 contracts. That includes the losses. This week we had a couple of losses there. Well, the one little one, $10, another one for 485. And that was John's trade this time. Normally I'm the one that loses, but John took a bit of a hit on that one. So, all right, folks, going to talk about what we have now. You should, and I'll get to the questions a little bit. Now, I got to tell you, all right. Excuse me. We we have a lot of, well, not a lot. We have a handful of programs that are very good, and depending on what you need, what you want, right? One is the inner circle. This is a real no-brainer. Everybody should be in on this because this is, oh my gosh, I would say a coffee and a bagel a week, something like $5 a week. This would cost you, $2.99 a year, right? So let's say $300 a year divided by 52. We're talking about $5.77 a week, a week. Divide that by 5. $1.15. I don't even think $1.15 buys you coffee anymore, does it? Not even a small coffee. I don't know. Anyway, the inner circle, folks. Now, this is where you get the morning market analysis with a follow-up report later in the day. You'll be invited to our Wednesday night interactive meetups. These are recorded in case you can't make them. Concise, informative, all you need in one report. Let us do the heavy lifting, and again, $2.99 a year. Now, John is the one that does this mostly. He's very articulate, very informative. He scours the markets. He checks all the various news feeds, Twitter feeds, X feeds, Truth Social. He checks all of this stuff, all the fundamentals. He looks at the technicals, puts it all together in a nice, easy to read package, and you should know what to expect in the morning on market open, and for the rest of the day, right? You don't have to do all that. If you were to do all what he does, you'd be waking up at 6 in the morning. Let us do the heavy lifting. John is excellent at that, and you are going to get this report delivered into your inbox around 9 o'clock. All you have to do is read that, and you should know. You should have a very good idea, including support and resistance numbers. Okay, folks, let us do the heavy lifting. All you need in one report. Now, we got to talk a little bit about the follow-up report and the Wednesday night meetings. Every day, you will get a follow-up report as to what we actually did. Now, again, whenever John does it, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so we got him doing Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I do Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. He's very detailed on his follow-up reports. Me, I'm just, very I summarize things. I like to summarize. Just give me the bottom line. That's me. Give me the bottom line. Um, but we tell you what we did, right? Winners, losers, we tell y'all. We don't hide anything. We don't cherry pick. We give you an honest, totally honest report as to what we did. But if you don't think there's value there, here's the thing you got to look at. Our Wednesday night interactive meetups, 8 o'clock Eastern time. John runs these, and excuse me, and I've seen a couple of these lately, and very detailed. Bring your questions. We'll answer all your questions. We'll stay on as long as you want. And I'll tell you, excellent meetings he has. He wants to make sure you totally understand what's going on. You'll never get a better value anywhere. And I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Folks, I'm not going to spend any more time. $2.99 a year. If you don't see the value in that, what are you doing here? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, some people just want to, just give me an alert. Well, we actually have two alert programs. One is called the DayTradeSPY Signal. Now, this is delivered to your inbox, 3 to 5 signals a week, algorithm based, and it could be any time in the morning. All right, anytime in the morning. All right, it doesn't have to be at 9 o'clock. In fact, it's probably never at 9 o'clock. I think it's always after when the market is open, somewhere between 9:30 and 12 o'clock. You actually get a signal sent to your cell phone and your email. And the point here is to buy it right away with the next 2 months. Buy it, immediately put it up for sale for a 5% gain. If it's not sold by 4 o'clock, sell it at the market close. Um, it's never going to go to zero. It shouldn't go to zero because these are actually they generally have pretty good time built into them, so your theta loss is not going to be all that much. I mean, so if it goes down, it could go down quite a bit, but you're not going to lose any over because of time. This service, which is actually very good for people who are not able to watch the charts all day, right? If you're out there running around, maybe you have a job that takes you out in the field somewhere at that time, but you got your cell phone with you, you get the text message, pull up your trading platform on your cell phone and make the trade. $3.99 a quarter, or by the full year at $14.95. If you don't want that, you want the pick of the day. This is a daily pick determined by John and myself. Every morning we get together, instead of algorithm based, John and I get together and we kind of hammer out what we see. And again, we invoke the fundamentals and technical indicators, and we make a determination: is the market going to go up or is it going to go down today? So, and we email this to you just around 9 o'clock or so every morning. And the idea here is to look at and buying it market open. All right, market open. Sell it for a 6% gain. So as soon as you buy it, immediately put it up for sale for 6% profit target. Walk away, come back, collect your gains. Again, if not sold by 4 p.m., sell at market close. Now, we have to say that because with Eagle and day traders, they want really a closure at the end of the day. So that's what we have. Now, those people who actually go through our trading room, some determine that, well, this might not want to close. At the end of the day, you might want to keep this open. I don't know if it was the pick of the day, but we had some call options that were sitting in a trade. I don't remember how we traded those or why we bought them or when we bought them, but I know that we were talking about, well, you're sitting in some of these calls. Um, we believed that we're going to get some resolution on the peace treaty, and the markets are going to shoot up. And I predicted they're going to go 5 points, but whoa, was I ever wrong? The next day it went up something like 24 points. I had some people reporting in they made tens of thousands of dollars on their options, tens of thousands of dollars. And I just, wow, that was phenomenal. Anyway, you don't get that every day, but you know what? We kind of came in on the right side of that one. So $3.99 a quarter for the pick of the day. Also $14.95 if you want to do that for the year. Okay. Our cream of the crop. All right. The cherry on top is the trading room, folks. Hosted by John and myself. Interactive, learn and earn, fully narrated. This is where our strategies come alive. Every morning, 9:20 to 10:30. Also recorded for later review. By the way, the Inner Circle Wednesday night is also recorded for later review. This program is $24.95 a year, $6.99 a quarter. This is the best value, and you know what? You don't even have to know all that much. If you know what calls and puts are, this is where you need to be. I put these QR codes up here while I'm talking, and if you didn't have a chance to get a picture of these to subscribe, don't worry about it, because at the end of the session, I'm going to have it up there for about 3 minutes. All right, so you can go back and actually capture the QR codes. Folks, you got to be in the trading room. All right, this is where all the stuff happens in real time, as it happens. All right, as we get the news, as we get the indicators. As we get the information, we pass it on to you. And we make trades. We make trades. We make money. All right, you follow along, you'll make money too. Here's the beauty of DayTradeSPY. All our programs offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. You cannot go wrong. You cannot. We will not let you go wrong. If you join us and you really don't like it, and you say, it's just not for me, no problem. Give us a call, get your money back. All right, let's take a look at some of the questions up on the board. Questions. Okay, let me see here. Where's your cat? All right. Robert P says, okay. So several weeks ago, we talked about how I'm cat sitting. And cat sitting is cat, and she actually got me very well trained. She's by my desk, and I keep these treats in a drawer here. So she knows if she comes up by my desk, if she just comes to this one spot, she'll get these treats. Except now she's not eating her breakfast or dinner. She's just coming up here for these treats, and she's getting fatter and fatter and fatter. And trying to wean her off of that, but it's impossible. And just before I started the session here, she was walking past my my screens, and she'll stop right in front of my screens, right in front of the camera. And so I can't see what's going on here. So I keep pushing her aside, but she doesn't pay attention. So I locked her out. And actually, she's crying right now to come in. You probably can't hear, but she is. So anyway, no, I said, no. Rat? I call her Rat. Anyway, um, enough of that here. You changed her name from Damn Cat to something more endearing. Seems like Cat is running the show there, so why don't you should name it King. I call it Big Bad Fat Cat. Anyway. St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, hello. Hello, you a quick question for you. Okay. All right, Ron, good to hear from you. Hello, Hugh, quick question for you, and I think I put out trades from pick of the day. I think the last two trades were puts, which I agreed with. As you know, I was in the opposite end of the trade, but did not put on the equivalent repair trade on Friday. I guess we're the subject of a newsy trade these days. Any commentary? Yeah, okay, so yeah, we had a couple bad trades this week. I think the pick of the day was one of them, and one of the days. Ron, I think we just squeezed by skin of our teeth. Um, they're very challenging, and they kind of defied gravity. Um, Near where I live, there's this thing called Magnetic Hill. So you drive on this thing, and you think you're going down. You put the car in neutral, and it would make sense that the car should roll down, but instead, you're going backwards. It's an optical illusion. And like defying gravity. And that's what John and I were looking at. We're actually talking about how the market seems to be defying gravity because all of everything we see, news, fundamentals, technicals, screaming puts. And the market opens and it goes higher. Like, what is going on, right? What is going on here? And I think it's total market manipulation. And I'm probably going to write my next newsletter on that. Not this coming week, but the week after. We're going to be, this week it's going to be about the 25K rule. But I think the following week I might write about market manipulation from our fearless leader. So anyway, we'll look forward to that. It might even be censored. I don't know. But anyway. Uh, anyway, the the trick these days with volatility, excuse me, it's not just the volatility of the options, but it's the volatility of the overall market. We are very much headline news driven these days, all right? Headline news. And it changes hour to hour, even minute to minute, you know. I can pull up any of these news sources and, every hour I'll get a different news headline. It seems like it's just, wow. My head's spinning every day when when I read the news, and I'm thinking to myself, so was it Friday? I think President Trump is picking a fight with Pope Leo or something. He was depicting himself as Jesus healing the sick or something like that. Oh, please don't do this. I was gonna, if Trump would, if Trump was really smart, he would take a page from the Beatles playbook. Any guys remember back in the 60s, I guess it was late 60s somewhere, when I think it was John Lennon said that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus, and the whole world was up in arms about that. And you saw these, millions of fans, and I mean diehard fans, screaming young girls suddenly burn their records, rip up all the magazines and pictures and all, and that was it. And the Beatles suffered over that. That one comment cost them millions of dollars. I knew the number a long time ago. I've forgotten how many millions. And suddenly their concerts, they were kind of struggling a little bit, filling the seats. It wasn't an easy go, and they had to do a lot of repair work to get over that. So you'd think that, Trump would have said, maybe we should think about sending these things out in the middle of the night or whatever. Anyway, I'm not here to comment about that, but anyway, that's so. I guess the bottom line here, Ron, is trade small, trade often. Let's say normally you would trade 10 contracts, just trade 5 contracts, see where it goes, and then hold back another 5 contracts in case you need to repair a trade gone bad. This way you'll bring down your average cost and subsequently, of course, bring down your profit target, and you'll have a better chance at getting your profits. So that's kind of the way I've been doing it, and I've been reading a lot about other people doing that, and some of the experts. They all kind of coming in the same way. Don't go crazy on these trades because things can change very very quickly, and it can go south real fast on you. And if it goes south real fast, real deep, it could a lot of head fakes, right? It could shake you out, and you could have a nice big loss very quickly, and you don't want that. So trade small, trade often, and you should be okay. And get into the trading room if you're not in the trading room, because we actually address all of those concerns in real time trading. I didn't catch why you said Thursday. Expect high volatility on Thursday. Probably unemployment claims and let me see, what was that? What was I saying on volatility on Thursday? Let me see if we can find out here. I'm not sure if I can go back here on my other screen. Bear with me for a second. So I said volatility I expect to be okay. So we have we've got some unemployment claims, S&P Global Flash Manufacturing PMI report, and S&P Global Flash Services PMI. So we have two PMI reports on Thursday and an unemployment claims number. All right, so it's going to be some pretty good action on Thursday for that. That's why the volatility is going to be a little bit higher. Okay. And let me see what else I can talk to you about. What other questions coming up here? Let me take a look here. All right. Are there any trades you are recording in the trading room, live market trades or paper trade simulated trades? Okay, so everything in the trading room is recorded if you are in the trading room. If you are in the trading room, you will get the recording. And so if you miss it, you can always go back. So we do both real trades with their own money. But by law, we're not allowed to show you that, so we just talk about those. But we also do simulated trades, which we are allowed to show you. Okay, so we do both. But John and I make some pretty decent money in our real accounts trading during the trading room. So, okay, Derek, Thursday special. You talked about a journal. I didn't see the link. Will you please post it again? Derek, that link for the journal was for. Let me see if you can dig it up here. Is this it here? Let me take a look here. I think this is it here. This is the trading plan, and for those people. Okay, so actually it's pretty good. It's just a spreadsheet. Got some rules up here. We talked about this on our Thursday. We had a very special training webinar. All right, trading through volatility, and I said that everybody who was on there will get a copy of this, and you should have received a copy. All right, you should have received a copy. This will take $5,000 and turn into $50,000 by the end of the year if you follow this pretty simple plan. A pretty simple plan. Starting with $100 and ramping it up, then $200. Anyway, I don't want to get into this because this is actually for those people in that webinar. Now, if you didn't get this, okay, if you didn't get this, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY. Contact customer service at DayTradeSPY, and you should get this. And I had somebody do up this plan, and it worked very well, and so I got this, and it's actually very, very effective, very good, and I know people following it, and they're doing very well with it. So, but again, you had to have purchased the webinar of last Thursday, which was offered at $199. I don't know if it's still available, the recording. Probably it is. If you want to give customer service a call, I don't know if you'll still get it for $199 or the regular price of $249, which is still a bargain price, folks. So contact customer service at daytradespy.com and request that. All right, let me see what other questions. No other questions. It is now time for. Okay, here's what I want you to do, folks. I want you to put in the questions box a number from 1 to 100, and we are going to have our famous. All right, our famous. Okay, here it is. Triumphs and tragedies. I don't know. What was I going to say? Tips, tricks, and traps. I'll do triumphs and tragedies. Triumphs and tragedies. Yes, triumphs and tragedies. That's what you're going to get. Pick a number from 1 to 100. The person closest to it, all right, gets the ebook Triumphs and Tragedies. Okay, Triumphs and Tragedies, and all I need now is for you. I'm gonna give you about 20 seconds to punch up a number, and I'm going to pull up the random number generator. This is not the number, folks. This is last week's number or something, whatever. That's not the number, okay? I don't want you to think that's not. We're going to press the button to spin the wheel and see what our random number generator comes up with. All right. Once again, in about 10 seconds, we're going to cut it off and pick out the winner. And if we got a tie, you both get the number. Okay. So let's just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we have everybody in here. All right, the last person is Mike T. Mike T. Okay, now we're going to count down and we are going to click on this. Let's see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The number is 61. Let me go back through the questions box and see who we have here. 61. Arnold. 69. I think Arnold. I think he won it last week. Let's see. So let's see. 69 for Arnold. He is with an 8. Okay, Danielle came in at 65. 65. She is the closest currently with 4 away. The number is 61. Let's see anybody coming closer than. Oh, James K came in at 63. He is 2 away. Okay, James K is that 2. Okay. I would say the winner is James K, and I will Get you. Triumphs and tragedies. James, congratulations. That came in 63. All right. Came within 2 points of the winning number. Cool. All right. So with that said, what else do we have to talk about? Any other questions? Okay. Let me just see that. Let me just check that again. Yeah. So that last name I said Mike T, who came in at the end, he came in 64. Wait a second. What was the number? Was it 60? Hang on a second. Let me just go back for a second here. I hope I didn't miss anybody up here. Random number generator. The number was 61. 61. Okay, so James K won it. All right, cool. All right, folks. I think with that, we are going to call it a night now. And I just want to thank you all for joining us. And again, these are the QR codes. Go ahead, take a picture and register, sign up, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time. Been a pleasure, folks.
Trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what